Hello, friends, and welcome to another week of the I-5 Corridors Traffic Report. Tyson Alger here, joined by Justin Myers on a beautiful, sunny Tuesday here in Portland, Oregon.
That's right, but I mean, my body...
We need more birds chirping, I think. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. My body may be in Portland right now. My heart, my spirit, my competitive nature is elsewhere, which we can talk about later. But
it's Masters Week for those not.
It's Masters Week, but also so me and my friends used to have this debate, and so I shall bring it up to you, even though it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hit the same, but Jim Nantz used to have this media run where he would go straight from the AFC Championship game on CBS at the end of January, now the beginning of February. Every 3 years, Super Bowl, middle of February, then Final Four, then the Masters. And the debate was as a broadcaster, is there a better run than that? And I think at one time there was a Chris Fowler argument, which was Chris Fowler used to get to do the best college football games.
Right.
Then summer of Wimbledon, Paris, London, Melbourne, which you're a racket sports guy. I am not a racket sports guy, but 2 weeks at Roland Garros has got to be pretty nice.
Some strawberries and cream at Wimbledon.
Exactly right. I'm just trying to think of then there was he doesn't really do it anymore, but there was the Joe Buck run, right? Of heart of the NFL right into baseball playoffs, World Series, then
back into the NFL.
Then back in the NFL and sometimes the Super Bowl.
Correct.
But the Jim Nantz run, and I know he doesn't do the Final Four anymore, had to give something up, but that run of Super Bowl to March Madness, Final Four, right into the Masters. What a run.
I'd have to think that maybe I bet you in his career Costas had some runs like that. It's kind of like when Kobe's on his 40 points every night streak sort of thing. I know this year Mike Tirico went straight from the Super Bowl to Milan for the Olympics.
Yeah, he was doing the Super Bowl and then was on Olympics primetime that night. And I thought it was CGI'd, and it's nope, he's there.
Which incredibly impressive. Mike Tirico's kind of the broadcaster right now, but I still don't think that compares to Nance's run, especially with the NCAA tournament and the Masters. That almost feels because the Tirico thing seemed hard.
Yeah.
It seemed stressed.
It really did.
Nance seems like he's showing up to a club that he's been at for the last 50 years, and he's still the coolest guy there, and he just knows where everybody's at. He's giving drinks around, and then it's just it's just very relaxed. And I think if you were to poll every sports writer out there, hey, if you were a broadcaster and you could do any of these runs, I do think that I think every single one of us would go yeah, you're going to go NCAA tournament Masters. That's probably my favorite 1-2 punch in the sports calendar all year.
Well, here's what I've noticed too, and fair warning, Justin's going to complain about the current state of college football.
We usually save that for the end.
We usually do, but I'm going to hit it right at the beginning now. Because, apparently, I don't know if you saw, but now the president's getting involved, and that clearly is going to make everything better. Nobody's ever going to, just decide.
Does this give us our in to just go full on politics now? Because college coaches always like to do that. I'm too busy to pay attention to what's going on.
Do we need to get into that algorithm, too? do we need to fight for those YouTube views? Yeah. But, the president weighed in on NIL, and what's interesting is, not to dive into that world, not such a bad idea that they threw out there. It might be kind of hard for some to admit that not the worst ideas. Anyways, nothing's going to come of this. It will, like every other thing, there will be no compromise. People will fight on both sides, and we will continue to just dump stupid money into college football, and I think lose a little bit of magic each and every year. That's my pessimistic brain.
Thankfully, we're bringing the magic here on
100%. But Tyson, this week, this really 2 weeks, like it filled my sports optimist cup, because while college basketball has always been the dirty, gross, I feel like it's always been like the kiddie pool that you leave in the backyard, and all of a sudden it's like it's February and it's like really gross, and there's something like that's been college basketball from AAU and weird coaching hires and kind of a really gross underbelly of dirty money.
So what you're saying is, in the current state of college sports where everything's gotten yuckier, college basketball just kind of feels the same. Kind of feels the same, and it has like that little antidote, which is we get March Madness. Yeah. Like it's just it's a shot in the arm of like, okay, yes, everything about this sport for decades has been kind of, but once a year, we go on a retreat. We get a little shot of March Madness, and they're like, okay, now we feel better. And so going from, we had upsets, right? We all learned about High Point University, which, by the way, have you done a deep dive on High Point University? Yeah.
Holy shit.
I don't think I can afford to go there.
No, nobody can.
Yeah.
If you have time, Google it. Learn about the steakhouse. Anyways, they have an on-campus steakhouse that's just free, part of your meal plan.
Free.
Part of your meal plan.
Part of your meal plan.
But we got upsets, right? We got a buzzer beater with UConn and Duke. Fairly competitive final game. We're taping this on Tuesday morning. The game was last night. And then we're going to go into the Masters, which is kind of like the last bastion of tradition. Like, the Masters will never change. I have faith that the Masters and Augusta, for better or for worse, will not change. And it just kind of feels good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's for, like, of all the sport, we got robots calling balls and strikes, Tyson. We got players tapping their helmets on a ball in the outside corner that you used to just have to take your medicine and go sit down. But for this week, you leave your cell phone in the car when you come on the grounds. You're not a fan, you're a patron. It's not the back nine, it's the second nine. And pimento cheese sandwiches are $1.50. It just feels, and brackets and everything else. Just feels good.
Wrapping up the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
There were some upsets. This was a tournament, though, where I do feel like some of the discussion was kind of, as it's been centered around how the better teams are getting better, and there's a little bit of a gulf there. You didn't quite. There was a lot of chalk in this tournament, if you will. But ultimately, what was it? 3 number 1 seeds in the final 4 and a number 2. UConn was a 2.
Illinois, I think, was a 3.
Oh yeah. So anyways, it was big conference, big conferences, big seeds. But I'm right there with you in. Outside of the people talking about it on Twitter or writing their little think pieces about it, like, this tournament felt like the tournament to me.
Yeah.
Like it, you get to the end and it's the same thing, unless you do have like one of those crazy like 11 seeds that have somehow made it that far. But in college basketball, you get to the end and no one's talking about who was snubbed on like inclusion or like who didn't deserve to be there, because like it kind of works itself out. I feel like it's still a lot more mature in its process than like where the college football playoff is, where you're still so used to which big team didn't get in. Do we need to change the rules?
Yeah.
Do we need to adjust this? And you get to March and it's just like, okay, we know what we're doing here. Like maybe the seeds have more power than they did in the past, but like by the end of it, watching the game yesterday, it's just like, yeah, that felt like, yeah, bring on one shining moment, like I enjoyed the heck out of it. But I saw that they're going to be expanding the field again next year to 70 what?
Yeah, they're going to ruin it. Of course, they're going to ruin it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm the purist in me agrees with you. Like, I don't think you need to touch this thing. But also, I think at this point, like, it's just, I think the basketball tournament's the basketball tournament. And I don't think people are so invested into, like, does the winner of this truly reflect who was like the best? Like it's basketball. I think everyone kind of like appreciates that there's going to be some oddities in there, especially when you're playing one game series against each other, essentially.
Sports is for entertainment purposes only. Like that's what sports is for, entertainment purposes. Champions are not the best team. They're the champions. Any time, and college football's had this problem forever, where you have this goal of finding who is the best team. I don't care who the best team is. I want to find the champion. They're two completely different things. One, it gives us a reason to sit and go about, but who was the best team? But the NCAA tournament was never about finding out who the best team was. It was about putting on an entertaining product on TV where you get upsets. And then when they figured out the 64-team format, everybody fills out a bracket so that everyone is invested. The NFL finally begrudgingly came along to admit that, you know what, maybe fantasy football had more to do with our popularity than maybe the legends of the game. Like, love the old school legends of the game, but the game exploded when the internet came along because fantasy football and NFL Sunday Ticket. Like, those two things expanded the game of the NFL brand more than anything in the world. College basketball has to admit that the reason that everybody watches March Madness is, one, upsets early, and two, their bracket. That's it. That's all. Like, and so you keep expanding it. It's already hard enough to fill out a bracket because you have to combine the two teams from the first four, and you make it to where you can't fill out a bracket, you will watch the popularity of this thing slowly die.
Yeah.
Because that's why, and it's okay that people watch because they fill out a bracket. That's okay. Eyeballs are eyeballs.
If you're someone like Dana Altman and all of a sudden 10 more teams are allowed in, are you happy about this or are you upset about this?
If I'm a coach, I'm very happy about this because
this might save some jobs. It might get some people fired too. It's like, oh, you can't make the expanded field.
Yeah, well, that's why you look at who's in charge, right? It's mostly coaches and ADs, right? And who has a financial interest in making the tournament?
Coaches,
no?
coaches.
Oh, no, no. Oh, you don't get a discount on your tickets if your team makes the tournament. Oh, they actually raise ticket prices.
Let's hear it, and it costs newspapers money. Yeah.
So okay, gotcha. Yeah. Look, at some point, if you are 2 games above 500, it's time to turn in your gear and go home.
You know what?
It's just like I was watching. I think it was West Virginia and Oklahoma because it's like the new NIT now. It's like the basketball crown or something. No, turn in your gear and go home. The season is over for you. We're done. Like the NIT was cute, but like we don't need more. We don't need an expanded tournament. Your season's over.
You know what they could do is they could do this crazy thing where they could treat like the entire season as like the tournament and just whoever has the best record at the end.
Make the whole plane out of the black box? Yeah. I've heard that argument, and you will hate this because you love hockey. But like I heard like a hockey hot take once that it was like, if playoff hockey is so great because everybody said like we're what, weeks away from playoff hockey, and then all the hot takes from hockey novices like me were like, man, playoff hockey is awesome, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I heard a hot take was like, why not just make all of hockey the playoffs? Like just start with all the teams playing in 7-game series.
Just do like a full year eliminator series sort of thing.
Just make, like you said, make the whole plane out of the black box.
I don't want to take like a huge veer here, but you said something that got my mind racing a little bit. You were talking about fantasy football and the growth of the NFL. Fantasy football is kind of what really hooked me into the NFL. Like back when I was probably like 10 or 11, me and my buddy in Alaska, Todd, we made a 4-team fantasy football league. We each owned 2 of the teams, and we juiced like the rules so you get like 2 points per like reception, and like so I would like load up with like Derek Mason and Randy Moss and all these guys, and it was fun, and like that's what helped. You know, I think so much of sports is just like once you know the players, then like you get invested in fantasy football. Between that or like playing Madden when I was a kid is what really got me into it. Fantasy football obviously took off massively from when I started in, you know, the early 2000s to where it is now. And I think most people are familiar with it. They play it. There's ads on TV all the time. But I also think that a lot of that player base has transitioned from the fantasy sports into sports gambling.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the advertising is. That's where all the money is. That's where like everyone's pushing things. You can't watch a single broadcast without seeing odds or props or this or that. I was listening, or no, so I was scrolling through Twitter a couple weeks ago, and Darren Rovell.
I've heard of Darren Rovell, yes.
The former ESPN business reporter. He's not necessarily everybody's favorite person online, but he was like basically pushing this app that it was a kids sports betting app where he's like, my sons get 500 fake dollars every whatever,
yep.
and then they can go through and they can place their bets and and he's kind of defending this as, I'd rather have them learn how to do it now and do it safely.
Yeah. Party at our house while we know where you're here.
Yeah.
Instead of going somewhere else and partying. That always worked out well. Those kids from those houses.
Drop your kids off. We're doing a 6-play parlay night. And that just makes me feel gross.
It should.
And I know fantasy football is kind of like the marijuana of drugs in terms of like it's kind of like the gateway. Fantasy football is just teaching you how to pay attention, and as you progress, you're probably it's only a $20 buy-in. It's gambling light, if you will.
And then all of a sudden you start doing prop bets.
Yeah, so I'm just afraid for the future, Justin, because
the future is cooked.
Because I can't play, or I can't do an NFL season without like doing a fantasy football roster now. Mm-hmm. Are we just gonna have like a whole generation of kids who are like, I just can't do this unless I have money?
100%. Yes. It's exactly that. It's funny you mentioned like Darren Rovell, like, oh yeah, it's fake money. I don't know if you are old enough to remember Joe Camel. But I certainly was old enough to remember when you would flip through Sports Illustrated and there's a cartoon camel who looked really cool, smoking cigarettes. Also, I'm still old enough to remember candy cigarettes. This feels a lot like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. It's just sugar. And it looks like a cigarette, but like... It's not a real cigarette, right? It's just Big League Chew.
It's not bad for you. It's just sugar.
It's just shredded gum that's in a pouch that looks like chewing tobacco, but it's just gum.
Yeah.
Shout out to, by the way, Big League Chew, Portland-based product.
Rob Nelson, correct?
I believe so. Yeah. It's faked. Yeah. I've talked about this a couple of times. I work with a lot of younger millennials and Gen Zers now. Mm-hmm. And
he's a dad on a new Disney Channel show. It's
on Disney Plus. But you get into the break room, you start talking about sports. Literally everything is fantasy and betting. That's it. So like, yes, as you were talking, the future of sports fans is, I don't know, maybe it's not cooked, maybe it's just different, but it will be involved with some sort of money.
It just sucks because,
and 401ks will suffer.
there's nothing appealing to me about finding the story about a good gambling win, or but it seems like that's what people want. When I left the Athletic and was like just doing the corridor stuff, like the only places that I had like consistently like approach me for like, hey, it was like gambling sites. Mm-hmm. Like it was like DraftKings or a couple of other things. It's just like basically like we're hiring a lot of people to write BS daily content. And it's just like, no, that's not my thing. But it's just it just feels like that's. I don't know what like the next pendulum swing is in terms of like what's like the new thing to like take over sports, but I feel like gambling has some staying power because people get addicted to it.
Yes, and then at some point it has to be. Look, at one point, like smoking got so bad that everybody had to learn like, hey, this is terrible for you, and then we got to a place in society where, and again, we live on the very we are West Coast elites. Okay. I was trying to find the best way to say it.
Yeah.
But like we are in the heart of West Coast elitism. And to smell weed on the streets of Portland is nothing new. You see somebody fire up a dart and I'm like, whoa, who hurt you?
Yeah.
Like, do you need counseling? Do you need rehab for that cigarette? Like, it's weird to see because that's where smoking, I don't know if sports gambling ever gets to that point. Like, fast food kind of got to that point, right? Like, oh, supersize me. And all of a sudden, like, no, I don't eat McDonald's. Yeah, there's 1 billion hamburgers
Right.
sold. Nobody ever goes there. Got it. But like the market will self-correct maybe.
Yeah.
Or because it's just gambling. Vegas is still, I mean, I know Vegas is supposedly down, but I'm going in June. It feels like gambling still is always going to be around. I don't know. I hate it. It's just I sound very grumpy old man about it because I got into sports gambling a little bit because working in media, DraftKings offered me some free money to gamble, and I was like, all right. And I got into it for like a year, nothing crazy. And then like I looked at my stats, which are very hard to find, but you can find them, and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And I got rid of it, and I don't do it anymore. And I hate the fact that everything new in sports is, even to where I joked about robot umpires with balls and strikes, it's because of gambling.
Yeah.
Like we had to have replay in baseball that if your pinky comes off of the base for a millimeter while you're stealing, like you're out now because of gambling. We never knew who put the ball out of bounds in basketball for 50 years, Tyson. Like for 50 years, we were living a lie thinking that one team had the ball when it should have been the other team the entire time.
I just hate, like, even like the money side, put that away. Like, I just hate that it takes a little bit of kind of like the magic and mystery out of sports now too, because like every single situation, if it's a high pressure, whatever sport it is now, you have like the Amazon Web Services, like percentage chance that they make the shot, or you have like the win probabilities, or you have like what the odds are now, or like it's constantly updated. So like let's say you're a team and you're down, let's say soccer, you're 2-1, and you have this constant thing that just keeps saying that like 85% chance you lose. Like, I think a lot of people, if you don't have money on it, you're going to see that. You're probably going to tune out of the game.
Yeah.
You're like, I just feel like it's so results driven now. Which, I mean, it's sports. I can't pretend that sports haven't been results driven, but like I feel like, yeah, I mean, like it's just so much more like numbers and them putting numbers out there constantly just like makes you feel like that it's more of like a probability and math equation than it is of like actually like watching like real humans out there compete at a very high level.
Do you ever do the, like, when your team really blows it and you go back and just like self-loathingly look at the win probability? Not to bring up, Oregon, Washington a handful of years ago, Bo Nix, sprained ankle, that whole thing. And then to look at like the win probability before Bo sprained his ankle on that 4th down play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe like a game 7 of a baseball play. No, looking at a win probability.
Why would you?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Why would you? Do you think that it's okay to feel bad for CB Bucknor?
No, I do not.
Okay, so we're talking about the
This is a very good topic. I'm glad you brought this up.
We're talking about the new ABS system in Major League Baseball, where each team is allowed to challenge 2 balls and strikes throughout the game. If you get the challenge right, you get to keep your challenge. Recently, I forget which teams were playing, but CB Bucknor was the umpire, and I believe it was it like 20 calls he missed in that one? I don't know if they kept challenging, but it was very.
It was 5 in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, and one of them was so beautiful. It was he called a ball a strike. The batter, pats his head for the review. It's overturned, so he gets a ball. Next pitch, it's the same pitch. same exact thing happens. The batter looks CB in the face, pats his head again. CB gets pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
But they have to do it, and ball 4, go take your bait. Like, it's almost like public. It would be like reading, like, it'd be like doing the SATs, and then they have to like read your scores out publicly to the rest of your class as they're coming down.
All right, I got a lot to unpack in this, so please bear with me, because on one hand, I understand the idea of like nobody comes to cheer for the umpire, right? And the only time the umpire would ever get praise is, or not praise, but whenever they ever get any attention is always going to be bad attention. That being said, you chose to be an umpire. Just like somebody chooses to be a dentist, you're never going to see somebody on you're not their favorite day, right? It's just, you're a dentist. You make a lot of money and you do good work and we all need you, but you're never going to
guess what I'm doing today.
Oh, are you really going to the dentist?
No, I'm not,
but like, you're never going to see somebody on their favorite day. So, that being said, I saw a very good breakdown of this whole thing. In a game, there are obviously hundreds of pitches. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are swung at. Mm-hmm. So when a pitch is swung at, guess what, umpire? You don't have to make a call.
This was like in the 1 year I tried playing catcher in Little League.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch the ball if somebody swung and missed. Like, I would like lose track of it. So I was always praying to God that they'd make contact.
You're openly rooting for ground ball. Please
throw it down the middle. Let him hit it.
So there's a majority of them are swung at. No call needs to be made. A bunch of them are clearly ball in the dirt. No real call. If you break it down to like actual judgment balls and strikes, it's about 20 to 25 pitches in a game. But forever, for years, decades, umpires, and I don't know how they pulled this off, have always pulled off we're not arguing balls and strikes, right? That's always been their line, is you don't get to argue balls and strikes. At every level, from high school to college, all the way up to professional baseball, we're not talking balls and strikes.
You can complain about my house's grass. You can complain about the living room. You complain about this, but you come into my kitchen, you don't say a word.
Not one word. And so it's like, we don't argue balls. And the thought was like, because there are so many balls and strikes, like, it's 25 in a 3-hour game, and usually, and 1 to 2 of those might be fairly important. So I think this is shining a light on the fact that, yeah, there are hundreds of pitches, but really, you guys are at about 80%, which is fine. But I don't feel bad, because forever they've had this, if you argue balls and strikes, you're instantly ejected. Well, now, guess what? The rabbit's got the gun. And the gun is tapping your helmet and going like, that ball is down. Because I do believe, especially guys who have been in Major League Baseball for an extended period of time, like these guys are insanely good at knowing where the strike zone is, right? Like anybody who's been in baseball for an extended period of time knows by 2 inches if it's actually a ball or a strike. And you're not seeing a lot of challenged strikes.
Which, by the way, the other added degree of difficulty too is the strike zone changes with every single batter. Like,
yeah, did you see a couple players have shrunk?
You have Aaron Judge up there, 7 feet tall. You have other guys going up. Remember who was that player in like the 30s that I think the White Sox hired, who was like 3 feet tall?
I believe it was Eddie Goodell.
Yeah,
was his name for the St. Louis Browns?
Same.
Yeah,
close enough.
You were right there.
Yeah. Midwest.
I think because they had to measure all these guys, like actually like digitally measure them for the strikes, and like there are players that went from like 6 foot to 5'9". That's a tough beat. Would you take, like, I am 5'10" on a good day with my very cushiony shoes.
Would you be a 6 foot MLB player, but then go down to 5'11" on your dating profiles because you're just trying to game the strike zone?
I mean, but I've always said, like, boy, the things that I would do.
Hypothetical.
Yes. It was 10 years ago.
Very happily married man.
Yes. We did meet on a dating app, though. Yeah.
She's a husky.
True. I was very happy she was not taller than me, though. Yeah. So I've always been like, I wanted to be like 6'1".
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing.
Dude, you'd be incredible at 6'1".
The things I could have done.
Dude, I know, right?
I probably could have dunked a basketball.
Like you'd probably have like even like a slightly deeper octave to your podcast.
Rather than just lay it in and slap the backboard, which I used to be able to do in high school, I could maybe actually like turn the ball over and dunk.
Hang on by the net with your fingers.
But would you give up your act? Because like, okay. Everybody says how tall they are, and just we all know that we're not. You've all had physicals, okay? We've been to the doctor, like we know. But you still like. Would you give up the height you tell everybody you are for a strike zone, for a little extra bonus, or should you have to stick with the height you are? Oh, you say you're 6 foot. Guess what? Your strike zone.
This is really a non-issue for me because I'm an honest 5'11".
You don't fudge it to 6 feet.
No, what I've done is I've fudged it to 5'11 3/4. Because that sounds real. That doesn't like you're not fudging.
No one would be that precise and lie.
Exactly. So it's just like, oh, this guy should just round it up to 6 foot. But no, I mean, like I'm right at 5'11. But
yeah.
Do I wish I was 6 foot? Maybe. But like I've had a lot of things going for me in this life. Like I'm happy. Podcasting.
Yeah. Telling stories.
But I mean, like, maybe if I was 6 foot, maybe instead of Greif being the number one, I would be the number one on the
Greif
beat.
is tall. How tall is Greif?
He's probably like a 6'2".
Yeah.
6'2" lean. He's getting that salt and pepper now, too.
But his full head of hair, like...
Yeah. God damn it. He's banned. Banned from the show.
But no, so going back to, like, the robot umpire stuff, like, I don't feel bad. Like... Yeah. We're too far gone at this point, and at some point, like this is the awkward times. I mentioned tennis earlier, right? They have the Hawkeye system now, and I'm sure for a year, lines judges were like, "This goddamn Hawkeye thing," and now it's just what it is. And with the NFL, right? What is this? We still know what a catch is, but like. It felt like fumbles were like the hardest thing, like for like, oh, he was called down. It took a year till now. It's just like we never call anyone down. So let's get it on the replay, and the football officials don't seem to care if their call is challenged. It doesn't seem to bother them.
So how many?
It really seems to bother these baseball umpires.
How many times in your career as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan did you just get super fired up because Mike Tomlin didn't agree with a call and he's just getting in the ref's face and it's just giving him a couple of M or F'ers and then gets kicked out of the game? And that doesn't happen in football because literally everything is legislated now.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that the ejections that were caused by balls and strikes, coach says something out of the dugout, ump yells something at him in the dugout, like, no, don't say anything else. Says something back, throws his helmet off, you're out of here. Coach runs out, they get right in front of each other's face. I feel like we're losing that a little bit. Like, like Lou Piniella would just kind of be an ill-tempered dude in today's Major League Baseball. Like, just like that guy's a little bit grumpy, but he stays in his are we losing a little bit of like the heart and character of baseball when there are less interactions like this?
I feel like baseball managers are. I think they're clever enough to find something.
Like do you remember the one time?
They'll find something to just lose their mind about because you mentioned Lou Piniella, right? Got to fire up the guys.
Yeah.
Like that's what he did. Like he half the time he didn't even care. He was just like, I got to fire this team up. They'll find something. And there will always be an adversarial relationship. It's just.
Or do you remember the one time Ichiro got ejected? It was a full count. It was a pitch that was about 2 feet off the plate. Called strike 3, and Ichiro takes his bat and he draws a line of where the ball went over. Now you're just going.
You tap your helmet.
Tap your head. I liked seeing Ichiro get kicked out. He's one of us. You wouldn't see that anymore.
That's a very good question. Like, beyond the do we feel bad about these umpires?
This
and
is
the
such a
definitive
stupid
answer
argument
is
on
clearly.
my part, by the way.
What's that?
Oh, this is just such a stupid argument on my part.
No, it's really not.
Here's this one thing that happened in the 4,000 career games I watched.
Have you ever been to a Major League Baseball game and saw an umpire and a coach get after it? It's awesome.
It's like the same when you go to a hockey game, and it's people who don't go to hockey games, they're just like, are they going to fight?
Exactly. So it's...
Which doesn't happen that much anymore, too.
So... First question, do we feel bad for these umpires? I think definitively this podcast is a no.
Yeah.
You've had it too good for too long. At least with balls and strikes. But, yeah, like, I did notice, though, on, like, 2 of the CB Bucknor overturned calls, it was a full ring-up. It was strike 3, start the lawnmower full time, and then had to, like... umpire walk of shame it like back. Like, he sent him to the dugout, and now you have to sit there and be like, all right,
dude. The most badass one I saw, I think, was it a Rosarina? There was somebody who he got rung up on a full count. He challenged it, and as he's challenging, he's walking to first base. He's just like, this is going to go in my favor. And he's already on first base by the time that, like, I'm just like, okay, like, there's still, like, some coolness.
So, like, do umpires now maybe tone down their strike 3 because of this?
Strike 3?
3? It's like Naked Gun. Strike.
Also, like, there's got to be some fascinating conversations, like, in the dugout and in the locker room just about, like, who gets... carte blanche of, like, okay, if you think this is a bad call, like I'm sure like some of like Cal Raleigh or like catchers who have like a good, but like gonna be like some pinch hitter getting his first career at bat in like a garbage game or something, and he gets rung up and challenges and gets it wrong, and just like,
because we see it in the NBA all the time. I mean,
no, it was off his hand. It went.
They do the replay.
Yeah.
Especially if anybody ever gets called for a foul and they go, no, but replay, and the coaches have to like, no, we're not burning this in the second quarter because you're mad.
Well, and that was new this year in college basketball too. Is coaches could start this year was the first year that college basketballs could challenge stuff, and I remember like asking Altman at the start of the year of like, are you gonna trust these guys? And he's like, I got guys with iPads on.
Yeah, so I do wonder like. So there's a thing in baseball. I don't know if you guys did. In hockey, did you do a kangaroo court?
Yeah, yeah.
So in baseball we did a kangaroo court.
If you check in, for instance, I have a 11 p.m. game tomorrow night. You're supposed to check in. We have like an online thing. If you're checked in for a late game and you don't show up, kangaroo court rules are you have to buy beer for everybody the next.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have like kind of like a jury process. If you will,
so in summer baseball and then in college as well, we would have like a weekly meeting, and you could at some point charge someone for really anything a kangaroo court fine, and then it would be adjudicated by team captains. Like, what's the kangaroo court fine in Major League Baseball if you burn the ball strike challenge just because you're mad?
Yeah.
And how much is that going to cost in Major League Baseball dollars? Like $25K?
Or are we going to find like an instance where, okay, so in the NBA, bringing it full circle back to betting, we've seen that there's been a handful of NBA players who have gotten popped for, turns out you're in on the bet.
Yeah.
Like guys who were like supposed to score 10 points or less, they could open 3 and they miss it on purpose. I wonder if we're going to see like a baseball player who maybe there was a prop that he strikes out 3 times in this game. He struck out twice. He gets walked on this, and then he challenges the ball forward just so he gets another
challenge.
Or it'd be like when Adrian Beltre would remember where he would check his swing and he would point down to the third base.
Yes.
It's just like, no, like this doesn't make sense for you. Like what? I miss that, dude. Don't touch his hat.
Don't touch his hat. Also, don't tell him where he can warm up. The on deck circle. This was my favorite. It's Adrian Beltre. I think it was Joe West, and like he told him that he had to warm up in the on deck circle.
Didn't he move?
And then he moved the on deck circle, and just So that's just good.
Oh man,
that's just guys being dudes right there. Can we talk Masters real quick?
Yeah, we can.
because we kind of opened up with this, but like I'm indoctrinated. I am in the cult of Augusta. The whole, like, I know that the $1.50 pimento cheese sandwich is clearly there for us to talk about, and what we don't talk about is how much it costs to get into and to win the lottery and the merch tent and everything else. But we've spent plenty of time on this podcast talking about food. Mm-hmm. The two things that I love every year at the Masters. One, I love the concession stand prices. Mm-hmm. I will never get tired of it. You work in online now, digital, still print media. Do we call it? What do we call it?
No. We're just online, baby.
Online. But you are a writer. You are a man of the written word. I will never get tired of articles of here are the Masters prices, and here's the Masters prices from 1974. Look, they're the same. I love it. I don't care that there may be ulterior motives behind it. I don't care. I love seeing a $1.50 sandwich. And I also love thinking of the one day when I win this goddamn lottery and get to go to Augusta, what I will spend my $20 in food money on. Well, I think about that way more than I should.
Well, what we'll have to do is, because currently we actually have a friend of the show at Augusta, at the Masters.
Currently there right now, I believe.
Our good friend Nate Jolly. He used to be, was he president of the pit crew? Or
he was.
Yeah, he was president of the pit crew. Big old UO guy. He's probably nose deep in a pimento sandwich right now. So maybe next week we get him to call in and give like a little.
Yeah, we learn all about, like, is it everything you thought it would be?
2 years ago for the Masters, one of my hockey buddies, Kevin Palmer, went to the Masters, and every day while he was there, I had him send in a report. And good idea. He ended up focusing more on like the flight attendant that he was trying to. Anyways, yeah. Like,
we lost focus.
We didn't send him back this year, but I might get him on later in the week for a little 15-minute. Give me your picks for the tournament.
So the concession stand prices, I love. The other thing that I love, and I think about, even though I will never, like, I may go one day. I will go one day. But I will never, Tyson, ever be able to go to the Champions Dinner. Mm-hmm. I am not ever going to be a Masters champion. I will never get to go to the Champions Dinner. But I think about, if I were to go and win the Masters, what would be my Champions Dinner menu? Have you thought about this at all? Because some of the more famous ones, Tiger Woods famously in he won it in 97, so the 98 Masters, and he was like 22 at the time. He had cheeseburgers, French fries, and milkshakes. Like, just imagine, like...
Coincidentally, when he got arrested last week, who did he call first? Somebody who else likes to give world-class athletes cheeseburgers. And
yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. We said we weren't going to do... We're dabbling more than we've ever dabbled, but I like it. Makes me feel alive. Yeah, it's a rough week for Tiger. God. I separate the art from the artist. Still,
that was a rough one, man. Like I thought
it's 2:00 on the weekday.
You know how, like, sometimes you get like you're scrolling through Twitter and somebody posts something. You're like, where are you posting this story from 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah, that's what I thought was happening. But
then I think some of the other ones, I think like Bubba Watson, he did like the most bland, like it was like chicken breasts and and then there were Scotty Scheffler, who is from Texas. He went Texas barbecue, which I think you and I are both big fans of. Also with that Texas barbecue, I think also offered a ribeye steak.
Classy.
Yeah. So what would be your champions dinner if you went app, main course, and dessert? What would it be?
I think I would just do like an Indian lunch buffet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a choice, but it lets people have other choices. You know, you'll have some like tikka masala, some keema, some samosas, and I'm sure it would probably piss off some people in there. It's a little stodgy. It's the Masters.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of old white guys.
You're also well, I think
maybe that gives you a little advantage. Maybe it doesn't sit well for everybody. And
I think it was Hideki Matsuyama won it. He did sushi, and that's when also we learned if you were at the Champions Dinner, you can just order off the main menu.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you go. It's when you go to Chinese food, and then they also have a cheeseburger there, like for the one kid who's going to be weird. I
think I would try to play into like the regionality. Like you're in the South, like maybe like give them something in their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I don't hate the Scheffler either. Just like I imagine these guys know how to make a pretty good ribeye and pretty good, you know, barbecue. Like let's.
Yeah, I think.
Do they announce the menu before it happens publicly, or is it just after?
I believe so. I believe Rory's menu is out there.
Are there? Because I feel like, Justin, ground floor of this business idea.
Yeah.
We open up one restaurant. You're open one day out of the year, and all you do is mimic the Masters meal. You give people jackets when they come in. You try to like replicate like what it looks like inside there.
But just one day a year.
Just one day a year.
Okay.
Or maybe two.
We might get killed on the overhead, but I think we're on to something though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be a place. That's not a bad. That's not a bad idea.
That actually is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's really not.
We're going to cut this part and we're going to save it. So
exactly. Yeah, I would have a hard time going away from. Every time I just hear Texas barbecue, I think.
How different would your Masters meal be from your death row meal?
Not much. Okay. Not much at all. I would think like appetizers, like. Let's be honest, chips and salsa is the best, like the best appetizer there is. Like you throw chips and salsa out there, then...
Do you think at the Masters they refill your salsa and chips, or is it just like a one-time... Because it's not a Mexican restaurant.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're like, first, like, we'll give you the first one, and then after that it's like $8. Like, what? Or do they charge for guac? Does Augusta charge for guac? We have to know these things. But yeah, I think I would like either ribeye steak or into like a very well done like brisket barbecue.
Yeah.
And then the dessert is peach cobbler. Like 1-1 greatest dessert of all time is peach cobbler.
Really?
Yeah, I'll die on that hill.
Do you have like a... I've had a peach cobbler before. I don't think I've really had any memorable peach cobblers. Do you have?
Yeah,
do you have
Pecan Lodge in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I had a peach cobbler that changed my life.
I waited in line at Pecan Lodge for like 2.5 hours, and it's kind of like part of like the allure of a barbecue place, but it's also like the big drawback. Like you're waiting in line, like you're telling stories, you're having a good time, but you're like. When the employee comes out and like scratches out like one of the meats they have available,
oh,
it's
that's
just like,
yeah. I learned like, have you ever gotten like a actual like tip or like hack that like actually worked? You know, like people are like, dude, you're going to...
Dude, if you go to Chipotle, what you do is you order the meat on the side and you get a tortilla and then basically you assemble it yourself. But if you get double meat, it's actually like...
Or like, if you ever go to Chicago, you go... trust me, like, this never work. Pecan Lodge in Dallas, Texas. Shout out to George Schroeder, who gave me that location. Then shout out to concierge at the Dallas hotel. I forgot which hotel I stayed at, but the concierge who gave me and my wife the greatest hack of all time, which was, there's a line out the door, but there's a bar. And if you can get a seat at the bar if there's just two of you, it's this, you can order the menu from the bar and then you don't have to stand in line. And guess what? You're at the bar. And I was like,
it's pretty genius.
Tip of the cap to you.
All right, Justin, we got to start wrapping up here.
Okay.
Anything grinding your gears today?
Okay, so let me ask you this. I did not. I did not ask my wife's permission to bring this up, but I think she'll be all right.
That's fair. We're 50 minutes in.
I like to ask, because you are also successfully married. I wonder, like, is this just in my house, or is this in multiple households? How worried is your wife when it comes to leftovers? Hear me out. Wife and I, it was her birthday a couple weeks ago. We went out to wine country, and then went back to her parents, had a very nice dinner, and there were leftovers from dinner. And I don't know how close your in-laws are. My in-laws are right over the river, but we never leave our in-laws' house empty-handed. Like, we always are sent with.
Right.
And so we had some leftover food, and there was a little insulated cooler bag, and so it went from the refrigerator into the cooler bag. And the plan was we were going to go grocery shopping and then go home. And wife and mother-in-law are so worried about, we didn't have an ice cooler block thing to go into the insulated bag. And I was like, it's 50 degrees outside. We are going to be an hour most at the grocery store. It's in a cooler bag. We are fine. My wife's brain is, we're all going to get some sort of pathogen because it's going to be outside. I've determined that with my wife and with my mother-in-law that the refrigerator is magic. As long as you put said food in the refrigerator, it's magical, and it will not ever go in the bad place. Does this happen to you, or is this just me?
I feel like we're pretty close on our beliefs when it comes to leftovers.
Gotcha.
So our Allie's mom recently moved here, and she's up in the hills, so it's like pretty close. And so we've had, we'll maybe every other week or whatever, we'll have like dinner at her house on Sundays. And Allie's mom likes to cook large portions. Yeah. And there's just 3 of us there. And so ultimately we get sent home with a lot of extra food. And it only takes like 30 minutes for us to get home at most. And so we never really worry about that timeline. The only like leftovers, like, I guess, disagreement that we have is, as long as it's been in the refrigerator, I'll just eat it out of the refrigerator cold sometimes. Sometimes chicken breast, you cut it up, put it in a salad or whatever. Yeah. She's convinced that you have to like re-microwave it, because maybe in that timeline it picked up stuff. And
And
but then on the flip side, like, let's say this was in our younger days. Let's say like you ordered a late pizza and it sits out on the counter overnight. I'm in the
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's fine.
And that's where the opposite opinion is in our house too.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah. So
So what it's determined, it's not necessarily a male-female thing. It's a partnership that if one partner is adamantly about one thing, they will. Right. It's like they say, like, if you are someone who has to take your dishes and put them immediately from the sink into the dishwasher, you will marry someone who lets dishes pile up in the sink. Like, it's just the universe is going to do that. And so if you are someone like me who believes that pizza is kind of magic and it can sit out, like it sits out at room temperature in the slice place all the time.
I understand all the logic.
Where are you with ketchup? Ketchup go in the fridge?
If it's a bottle, after it's been opened, I'll put it in because I like my ketchup cold.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's funny to me because like everyone I know puts ketchup in the fridge, but you go to a restaurant and ketchup sits at room temperature all day and nobody bats an eye.
Well, that actually bothers me a little bit because I remember, I used to dabble in the hot sauce game a little bit. Yeah. And, as you're getting in there and you're learning about like preservation and expiration dates and all these things, like we were just like, ours needs to be refrigerated after it's been open. It could, it's got enough acid and like whatever there, it's probably fine for a little bit, but like ever since starting that, like you go to like like a McMenamins or something, where like I love going to like the McMenamins movie theater here in St. John's, you go into the theater, they'll bring you your food, and they have like a little table where they have like their ketchups and hot sauces and mustards. And a lot of the hot sauces they have is Secret Aardvark, which I love that stuff. It also gets really it also gets really disgusting around like the bottle top.
Yeah,
like,
it gets all crusty. Yeah.
And like in big letters on like the bottom of that thing, it's like keep refrigerated after opening. And so like I was never I was never like a condiment czar in terms of like these need to, like, you know, I'm more or less put it in the fridge sort of guy now.
One last thing. Again, I think a funny interaction from my house. I'm wondering if this has ever happened to you as well. When I was in my 20s, I was a degenerate. I partied way too much. I now can't stay up past 10:30, but in my time, I got after it. My wife, thankfully, was very smart, very successful at school, didn't drink in college. And so we've always joked about how... Nerd. Yeah, she's a nerd.
I'm completely...
Thank God. But we've always joked about how, like, your college experience and mine was very, very different. So we were watching this...
In your memory, were you at, like, all these big ragers? But, like, if we were actually, like, to, like, time hop, it's just, like, you and your, like, 4 dude roommates, like, playing GarageBand or something? Or...
Oh, it was all the above.
Yeah.
It was everything. It was everything.
We were so wild, man. Like, the Zinfandels were just pouring.
Look, I've drank mystery alcohol out of a garbage can. I've done that. Yeah. So have you. Yeah. Who's in charge of the fruit, bro? It's called Jungle Juice. It can't be bad. So we're watching this show, and have you watched The Madison yet?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're watching The Madison.
Wait. No.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Kurt Russell. It's a very good show. It's also very sad. But there's a part where, like, they are going to this bar. They're like going to this. They're upper crust New York people, and they're like, well, we're going to this dive bar, and somebody says to order. Now, this is the name of the drink. I didn't invent the name, but this is the name of the drink.
Oh God!
They ordered an Irish car bomb, and my wife starts Googling it. And I go, you don't have to Google it. And she's like, what? You know what that is? I'm like, do I know what that is?
Isn't that with you drop a Bailey's in a... Or no, Irish car bomb's the thing that comes out like green.
So it's...
no, that's a trash can.
Yeah. It's a Guinness and you drop a Jameson.
Oh, yeah, right. And then you have to
chug it. Yeah. And so I found it very funny that, like, every once in a while still, like, my old, like... bro degenerate side, because she's Googling what is in it, and I'm like, you don't have to Google it. Like, she's like, you know what's in it? I'm like, do I know? I had plenty of them on St. Patrick's Day at Kells.
Yeah. Don't start telling her about, like, the names of the tag games you guys played when you were kids too.
What was the...
Yeah.
Wait.
Nope.
Well,
nope.
Tyson, what did you do when, like, one person had the football, but then you... Never mind.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Kevin Palmer here, I-5 Quarter, Masters Correspondent. There's been some changes in the coverage this year. Tyson took me out to the Lombard Beer House, got me extremely drunk, and threw me on a Greyhound. I woke up in a bus station in Oklahoma. I guess the travel budget's been cut because I had to go to Mexico for fun. A little despondent. Not even sure where my bag is. I don't know if I have a change of clothes. A little bit worried. Some would say this is a fruitless effort, kind of covering Oregon postseason hoops, but someone still got to do that, and then someone else had to go on a bus. So whatever. But I'm out here to give you the coverage that you guys pay for and deserve. gonna say spirits are down a little bit. It's been a little bit weird. I did think I saw Tiger Woods earlier this morning. Someone was staggering around the bus station, high out of their mind, saying they talked to the president. Come to find out, it was just a drunk, insane Cloud Posse fan. Whoop whoop. Juggalo for life. Just kind of waiting out for the transfer to come in and go to Atlanta and then on to Augusta. So while I'm here in the bus station, I wanted to give you guys my Masters preview. Let's start with the Live guys. Bryson's been playing pretty well. But I just don't think Bryson has a short game over 4 days to contend in the Masters. Rahm, he's out there. Just haven't seen him perform very well since he joined Live in the majors. Cam Smith exists, but I guess he's a golfer still. He really took the money and spent a lot of time on his boat. I don't think he really cares about golf anymore. Personally, when you look out there, there's a lot of talk about Scotty as well, as he's 2 Masters, plays well at Augusta, has not played well this year. I don't think he's finished above 14th, and over the last three events, and he just had a new baby. Anyone that has a kid or has multiple kids knows 9 days in, you're not getting a lot of sleep. Yes, granted, I know he has 45 wet nurses and nannies and night nurses, but yes, I still don't think it is. I don't think it's in the cards for him this year. Rory, pressure's off. Played with his dad on Sunday, as past Master champions are able to do. I don't know if he has the eye of the tiger for it this year, so I'm gonna scratch him off the list as well. P. Reed flashing, according to Tron Carter from No Laying Up, winning a lot of European events heading into this, but he's had a few weeks off. He could be a threat, but again, who's he been playing? The European Tour, not the strongest field. So you would think past Masters champion would comport himself well against those, that level of competition. Beyond that, I have my eye out on either Colin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, one of the 3 having a breakout performance this week and finishing in the top 10. Akshay, my eyes are on Akshay as well. I think he's played really well this year. Same with Cam Young. He's someone else that has shown some signs this early year. I think you're going to see both of those, Akshay and Cam, in the top 15. But I really think we're going to see another Euro champion this year between Matt Fitzpatrick and Ludwig Oberg. Just the human cyborg is games tailored for Augusta. I think he's going to be in the top 3. I think he's going to be in contention. And he's where my money's on this week. For rest of the coverage, stay tuned to the I-5 corridor. I'm sure Tyson will throw some wrenches at me. I don't know where I'm staying yet. I don't know if I'm just sleeping at a bus station all week. I don't know what my budget is. I'll communicate with the home office and get back to you guys. Until my next report, this is Kevin Palmer signing off for the I-5 corridor.